Hi Justin, my name's Kaylee. I'm going to be discharging you today. Are you Mrs. Sowers, Justin's mom? So I'm going to go ahead and discuss your discharge instructions. I've got your discharge papers here. We've highlighted everything important in here for you, as well as Justin's follow-up appointment with his endocrinologist. So I'll go ahead and hand these to you.
Okay.
So I'm going to focus a lot on what led you here for your hospital visit. I know you've had type 1 diabetes for quite a while now, but I just wanted to kind of refresh you on your disease process. So this is a chronic condition where an organ in your body called your pancreas, which is right about here on your left upper side, is not doing its job properly to remove sugar from your blood. So sugar is in almost everything you eat to some degree, and some foods have more and some have less. So your insulin pump that you wear works to release that insulin, which is the stuff needed to remove that sugar from your blood. Your pancreas isn't doing what it's supposed to remove that sugar, so the pump works similarly to your pancreas, trying to mimic how things would be happening naturally if your pancreas was properly doing its job. So now just because you do have this insulin pump, it doesn't mean that you can eat anything that you want, obviously. It's important to eat a balanced diet and reduce your intake of something that we call simple sugars. So simple sugars are going to be in things like cakes and cookies and sodas and ice cream, which I know are delicious, but we just have to be careful about our intake of those things. And there's also going to be in things like pastas and white breads, which are simple sugars that can make your blood spike, or your blood sugar spike. So what I mean by that when I say that is that the sugar in your body is going to go up really high, really quick, which makes it really hard for your pump to keep your blood sugar in balance. Whereas complex sugars, which is stuff like whole grains and wheat breads and brown rice and oatmeals, these type of grains are not going to make your blood sugar spike so high. So it's very important to pay attention to your food choices, because blood sugar, when it's very high, can cause damage to all the little tiny vessels that are in your body. When you look at sugar under a microscope, it's going to be sort of prickly looking, and a lot like those little prickly stickers that grow in the weedy areas outside. Yes. Those little prickly sugar molecules are going to get pushed through all those tiny little vessels, and it makes little tears, which damages all those vessels. So over time, this can create irreversible damage, which means they can't be fixed. So when you hear about adults who have problems seeing or feeling their feet, they have like a loss of sensation. This can be caused by that, and it can even make trouble for your kidneys, which help you urinate. So likewise, it's not only important for you to eat good foods, but you need to eat in general. And especially because you are so physically active with sports, you want to make sure that your insulin pump is releasing insulin. And unlike how your body would do it, it's a machine that follows an algorithm, and that's a little code inside that tells it what to do. So that machine's code is expecting you to eat, and when you don't, it'll still do its job. So this means that insulin will be released, and if you remember what insulin does, it removes that sugar from your blood, which can cause this episode of the hypoglycemia that you've had, where it decreases your blood sugar to too low of a level, and you experience that dizziness and fainting. When you haven't eaten, your blood sugar can drop really low, You might feel the nausea, dizziness. You might sweat or pass out. And also, this is so important whenever your body does more activity than it usually does. Like when you exercise, your muscles are going to use up more sugar for energy. So if you don't eat before you do your exercises or before you do your basketball practice or your basketball games, your blood sugar can drop dangerously low. So like I mentioned earlier, too high of a blood sugar can cause long-lasting problems, but low blood sugar can as well. So passing out is obviously not a good thing, but things like seizure, I'm sure it's not. But things like seizures or even a coma can also happen from this. That's why it's so important to, manage this and stay on top of your blood sugar and eating regular snacks, especially before all your activities.
No chocolate milk either.
So, I know that you did tell the doctor that you didn't eat before exercising.
No, I didn't.
Because you were having fun with your friends and you didn't want to let your team down during the game.
You're right.
But unlike your friends, the consequences for you can be pretty scary. So your condition will not cause you to miss out on fun things, and it's important to remember that. You can still lead a normal life. This isn't going to prevent you from playing basketball and hanging out with your friends. But you also do have to do a little extra work making sure your body is being taken care of, It's hard being a teenager, I'm sure. It's difficult. And I doubt that it's extra hard being a teenager and I don't doubt that it's hard having to take on these few extra things like you have to. And I know you mentioned that you felt embarrassed. You felt embarrassed about being in the hospital and about passing out. But instead of feeling embarrassed by having to take care of your body, maybe you could ask your friends to help you remember to and educate them on your disease process and have some more support from your friends and your teammates and your coaches. And friends are meant to support us, and friends are people who we can rely and trust on. If these friends are truly friends of yours, I'm sure they'll want to make sure that you're safe and can be there for your games, and that you're all part of the team. And I'm so glad that I got the chance to be part of your hospital team. Teams are a wonderful thing to be a part of. And I just wanted to ask you if you had any more questions for me, as well as you, Mrs. Sowers. Did you have any more questions for me, Justin?
No.
Alrighty.
You summed it up.
Alrighty. Well, I wish you a speedy recovery, and I'm glad you're feeling better.
Maybe your numbers.